In today's video, we're gonna be showing you how to get high speeds on free skates on a flat surface. And at the end, we're actually gonna race. All right, do we wanna start with foot positioning? You wanna be right there in the middle, your normal stance.
Your feet will adjust over time, so you'll have to make micro adjustments, centering them back into place every once in a while.
Everybody thinks that they have to do really, really fast like this to gain a lot of speed. It's more important to gain speed by long, strong strides. When I mean strong, it's one really strong pump, like you really use your legs. Once you get like 1, 2, 3 really strong pumps in there, you would have already had to do like, I don't know, 10, 15 of these little guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very beneficial way to gain speed.
We don't do one thing only though. We bounce between all of it. It's not like necessarily you always need to be out, right? You can be out for one pump and then tighten. There's no right or wrong way to utilize this concept. So many people sleep on how to implement bending your knees into your pump and how to gain power from that. When you bend your knees, you're giving yourself the opportunity to gain so much more power and like speed potential. So that's one thing that you should try to implement into your riding is getting comfortable bending your knees on the carves and digging into the front side and back side turns that you do. Because it'll give you a better feel for how to bend your knees and give yourself more power and potential. And I see a lot of riders that I feel like have that, you know, straight legs when they ride like this. So it's like a really big tip to really bend your knees and feel into the ride. And
especially at high speeds, you want to keep your knees bent pretty much the whole time. When you're straight leg, your balance is really wobbly. But when you have your knees bent, all of your hips, your knees. Another thing you can gain speed off of is kind of that surfer swing your upper body. It's a figure 8 with your shoulder. Swoop down, back over, up and around.
The way you incorporate your upper body is really how you have fun with it and are playful with pumping. It's kind of exhausting to use your arm like that.
It's a technique to get good at when you're first learning. That front shoulder is gonna do what our arms just showed you, is up, out like that. That front shoulder is gonna continue to do it. You just don't have to over exaggerate with your arms out. It's the same movement, just your arms are down the side.
That's a good example of handling them over obstacles at speed.
Knees really bent.
Yeah, ready to absorb the impact. Like right here, this crack is a pretty deep one. We kind of absorb impact, take the weight off a little bit as we're going over one skate at a time. Speed will actually play a role in when you're cruising, you'll have a more smooth time getting over bigger cracks, the more speed you have.
If it's a really big crack, I like to push through it. So I kind of do a little lift and push at the end. So that way if the skate does pop up, it doesn't come out from underneath my foot because I'm pushing it down right away. I let up a little and once it hits the crack, I push it down. So you always do want to pay attention to about 10 to 15 feet in front of you while at high speeds. Always be on your guard. Usually at high speeds, you get a little nervous and stuff like that because your adrenaline's going. There have been times where I get caught off guard. I'm super comfortable and I just get caught off guard, don't see a sand spot, and I'm in the middle of a pump and the sand just kind of like shoots out the skate. Usually when that happens, it's because I'm so comfortable and I'm just cruising at high speeds because I fly down this boardwalk. Very beneficial way to gain speed. I'm doing exactly what I said not to do. Don't always pay attention this way. Don't pay attention backwards. There are some times where you'll see a crack pretty far ahead, a really big crack. I do suggest trying to lose a lot of that speed right before and then bail jumping forward. Leave the skates behind you. At high speeds, it's gonna be difficult to bail. A common thing for people are they're not used to jumping off at a speed and they just jump off and think that they can stop instantly. That's the worst thing you can do. Don't just jump off and think you can stop. Match the speed of when you jumped off the skates. So you want to continue to run. I'm probably going right about close to 10 to 15. Throw them back.
I'll bail too.
And keep running.
That's not bad.
When you're at that speed, if you're even a little bit past how much you can run, you do want to know how to tuck and roll, especially if you're not wearing pads. The tuck and roll, you'll jump off the same way that I jumped off before, but you'll jump off and then use one shoulder and you dip that shoulder and roll over. Normally when you're going for the tuck and roll, it's because you're falling forward already. So instead of just going like this and sliding and grinding everything. If you put your hands forward, they're gonna slide forward and then you're gonna go to your belly, maybe hit your chin. That's why you click here and get some jmkride pads. And for safety, make sure you wear your pads. So a big topic is weight distribution. Some of the small cracks are easy to just pump through. Anything big you come up to and you see it, you get stationary. You don't pump through the crack. Brace yourself by bending that back knee and keeping all your weight here. Almost none of it here. So if this front skate actually does get caught on something, you'll still have time to jump off with this back foot and get your running start.
I think one of the best things to keep in mind is know your limits. Like that's like always something you should be mindful of, is like knowing where you might not be capable of.
Well, here in San Diego, there are potholes everywhere. We have the worst streets. We know the routes that we're supposed to take that are safe. When you don't, I wouldn't suggest going at high speeds at all because it just keeps you guessing the whole time. It's very dangerous and I've fallen so many times here in Pacific Beach not knowing there's a hole.
There's sometimes I've seen that cars will be pulling out of alleys and there's sidewalks that go along it, so you always need to be mindful of situations like that.
All right, so now we're gonna track our speed and see how fast we can go from here to Gabe. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
We're gonna track my speed, see if I'm any faster than Mattie. Ready? 3, 2, 1. How fast did I go?
8 miles per hour.
8? My guess is like 22. The results are in.
Matt's speed is a grand total of 20.5 miles an hour.
Oh,
20.5.
that's weak.
That's fast, but is it faster than me?
22.
Jack got 20.2 miles.
Oh, Mattie went faster.
How? I didn't feel like I went faster.
I thought I went fast, but
If you liked this video, check out all of our other videos and don't forget to roll with us.